Mission start!
Because I know, especially with you, once we got into the nuts and bolts of your question, I think it's going to lead to a pretty interesting conversation.
Nice.
So I'm super excited about this.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to do it with both of you because I'm fascinated to see what your responses will be.
I don't think mine are going to be all that interesting.
I think they're going to be dope. I'm excited about it.
I really don't.
See? I think it's going to be great. Side note, first video is almost at 20 views. Good job, guys. Very nice. Yep, I'm super excited. Yep, super excited. We're getting there.
I haven't checked on that in a couple of days.
Air high fives. Boom.
I made the little psh. I made the little psh sound.
Psh. Good job. Yeah.
That one.
I'll insert that in post.
So, hello everyone.
Hello, everyone. And welcome to We Have Some Thoughts, where I've been prompted to say that by Amanda starting the intro.
No pressure, no pressure, no pressure.
Tonight, I guess we're doing hypothetical things. We're I don't know. RJ's going to probably pose most of them. This was just kind of sounded like a fun idea, so we said, yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely.
So I don't think we have like a real rigid structure for this one. We're just trying to have some good conversation and a little bit of fun instead of, we're
all the heavy.
We're trying to do a second episode of, not wrecking ourselves.
Yes.
Yes.
Because though important conversations matter, in the
need
world
the
that we
levity.
live in, every once in a while you need the levity.
You
You need the
need the
ability to be able to
levity.
laugh and have some fun, and the world doesn't completely suck for the hour and a half you're with somebody. So
100%.
And you get a little taste of what our conversations normally are like.
Absolutely. 'Cause some of these are just great. So, first question, and this is the one I've been most excited about. If you suddenly won enough money that you never had to work again, what would you do? I would like to start this off with Amanda.
Okay. How much money is enough that I never have to work again? Enough that I can take care of my immediate family and never have to work again, or enough that it's like money is absolutely no object?
Let's say money's okay. Let's take it two different ways. Let's do the money is no object first.
Okay, money is no object outside of obviously taking care of my family.
Yes.
I'd like to start. I would donate to everything that I could that was legitimate, from like autism research, food not bombs, things that help people in
Okay.
general, on top of maybe starting my own type of thing like that to get things in need that are needed to places that need them without having to worry about, is my money actually going to that, or is it going to someone's pockets with a little bit of that going to that?
So I'm gonna wait, because that's an awesome idea. Christopher, what about you?
So I actually have had for a while a pretty solid plan of what I would do if for instance, I won like a ridiculous lottery. Gets up to whatever, half or 3/4 of a billion or something.
Mm-hmm.
You get whatever, roughly a 50% payout lump sum. I mean, the very first thing you do is you get a financial and legal team together, and they figure out how best to so the very first thing you do is you get the ridiculous sum of money you now have perpetuating itself. Investments, bonds, etc., like everything that grows money out of money. And I know that is like completely contrary to my entire thing.
But the more
as
money you
we've
can grow,
said-
the more you can do, the more good you can do with it.
Exactly. That's my whole thing.
See,
is like you
I
set
totally
it up
skipped
to
over
where-
that part.
Well, you know what, and that's funny because it's kind of when I first wrote that question in, that's what I was wondering if you guys are going to go to, because I was wondering with what you both want out of this moving forward, would you say something along the lines of, I want to start building organizations. I want to start building something that allows me to get myself prepared for this to come. because thinking about everything that we've had over the last couple of conversations, even though I know you want to get to a place where money doesn't exist anymore, you would need substantial financial backing to kind of get there to start.
I don't think that's true. I think having a hell of a lot of money absolutely would help. But the kind of stuff that we do in society currently, while it can require money, it doesn't necessarily. Well, for one, the reason to get the money that you have earning more money is because like we currently do live under capitalism.
Right.
Whether we want that to be true anymore or not doesn't really change the fact that we currently are. And so like it doesn't make any sense not to game the system the best you can to get yourself as well taken care of as possible.
Sure.
You got to work with what you got. So that's what we got. As far as the stuff we could be doing like at the grassroots level now, that's already happening regardless of the people participating having money or not, because it doesn't really have anything to do with like, you know, having the financing to start your own commune. That's kind of, there's no way to, maybe there's not no way, but there's only limited potential for that to have a real lasting impact. That's not going to change the world. That's going to have a few people living out a vision together, and that's not worthwhile, but it doesn't do anything to change the world. Because no matter what, you and all the people you live with are still going to need to participate in to some degree or other in the system we currently have.
All right.
So I would, like I said, get the money perpetuating itself. I'd never have to work a real job again, and I could spend my time on activism. Now, I would absolutely use that money to help finance stuff, but like,
yeah,
it wouldn't necessarily be, like I said, you know, supporting the lives directly of several other people, although I would like to do as much of that as I could. If you could solidify like $600,000 per year worth of actual income, which if you won a lottery jackpot that big would be no big deal. You divide that up pretty evenly among several people really comfortably.
Unless you got a cocaine habit.
Which thankfully I do not.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, it's a plus. It's a pretty good thing not to have.
Strong plus.
So
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yes, it is, honey. Yes, it is.
Rick James said that. I'm so sorry.
Rick James.
But I think, you know, being able to help to keep food not bombs in food, but also printing. I mean, you know, the creation of agitprop for distribution. You know, plenty of other stuff that like real money can really help, but it's difficult to talk about this stuff without, because there's going to be tons of people, once we have tons of people watching, that are going to be like, you know, that's just capitalist nonsense. And I agree, it is. I also see that like currently there's no way around that. And I would totally spend plenty of that money just having whatever the fuck I wanted and going wherever the fuck I wanted. Because that's something I would want to do anyway.
Right.
But I don't know that I'd move. I like my apartment. I might just pay it off for the next year, a year at a time, until I feel like moving, or I might go to a different place. I don't know. I would obviously, the very first thing I'd do after I'd, you know, secure the investments and stuff is I'd get rid of all my debt, pay off my car, sell it, get a new one. And even that wouldn't be, I'm not talking about buying even a Corvette. Like I'd probably buy like a Charger or whatever. Something like reasonable, long lasting, not real high key. You know, I don't really like aspire to excessive luxury. I just want like reliability and comfort in life in general.
And see, that's why I was asking, is it enough to make our family comfortable for the rest of our lives, or is it money is literally no option? Because obviously if that's where, because money is literally no option to me is like infinite source of money.
You mean no
so
object?
That's why, yeah.
You said option, but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Accidents happen.
I'm sorry. I was honestly asking.
Yes, money is no object. Object.
You would think like you beat her when things are wrong. What I tell you about saying the wrong word? You got one more time. One more time.
No, stop beating me. Don't beat me.
I'm just trying to get the likes.
If money is literally no object.
I'm so sorry I asked. Jesus.
Oh,
Man, I'm just a great big old
I
dick.
consider that an infinite,
like, forgive me the grammar.
an infinite source of money that, you know, it's not going to necessarily be something that is like $1 billion that you have to worry about it running out. It's for whatever reason, let's say something we invented and we have like all of the royalties for it, and we're always going to have those for the rest of our lives, and it's going to be like millions of dollars a year, you know, then I'm not an idiot. I know there's a possibility of going broke on millions of dollars a year, but at the same time, I've lived poor for so fucking long.
A little bit hung up on technicalities. Like, I think we can assume that all of that is handled.
Yeah.
Then what would you do with it?
That's what I was saying. That's why I didn't bring up the getting like the financial advisor and stuff that you were bringing up, because RJ and I have talked about that. What if we won the lottery? Of course, the first thing we would do is go get a financial advisor and a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that we're doing that kind of stuff. But provided it truly is no object and we have all of that covered, that's what I would do is, you know, I know it sounds kind of played and insincere, but I would like do what I could to help people. Like I would do what I could to fund things that are actually helping people, or create something that will actually help people.
See, I think that the creating is the better route. I mean, because there's you can vet organizations and you can know that well, like you said, that your money isn't just going into somebody's pocket. Like, you know, like don't send any of your money to the fucking Susan Komen Foundation or whatever. That's like, yeah, that kind of thing is nonsense. I think that creating something would be a more sure thing. I tend away from like conventional charities.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because of corruption or anything, but because like they have their own part in perpetuating capitalism. And it's really, really difficult to be okay with that. Like that doesn't really do anything to address the root of the problem. It just helps people with the symptoms. Which is why I would support a Food Not Bombs, for instance, and not, I don't know, name somebody else. Is because, like
O'Reilly or...
Yeah, is because, like, they're doing things specifically. I mean, it's certainly to help people. That is, like, largely the point of what they do. But it's also to get the word out. Because they do messaging. They do spread agitprop. They, you know.
So these questions for me were, one, for fun, but two... This is the part that I love about both of you, individually. Not at one point did you say, other than you saying travel and the small stuff that you said for yourself, it was about other people.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Thanks.
Most people would want to solidify everything in them in their immediate circle and do the extravagant first.
Yes.
Before thinking about others.
Completely understandable and completely irresponsible.
Yeah.
I mean, because there would be like definitely a lot of personal considerations for me. I mean, like, you know, before I go start changing the world, like the very first thing I do is absolutely make sure that like all of your children have, like their college is like done, that's paid for, etc. Like, I mean, you know. All of my closest family is like is fine forever now, but you know I don't know that didn't seem.
But no,
like it needed to be said.
Like, but no, that's the coolest part about this to me is that even though I would say something similar, my tastes are, and this is where the deeper conversation comes in. Do you guys feel that because of where you were raised and how you were raised and the environment that you were raised that you tend not to want that stuff more often.
Well, remember the kind of house we lived in.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were at our peak.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we've been with severe luxury and without it. No, I don't think that my upbringing really has much to do with this. Maybe like a psychologist might say otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
They like analyze the shit out of me. They might have different conclusions, but the way I feel about it is, I think that I don't think that my upbringing had anything to do with like what my current ambitions are or what my taste is. I've always been fairly basic, and the truth is, there's nothing I could have that I don't already have that wouldn't just be like a really souped up expensive version of something I already have.
Right.
Because I already have a pretty nice computer. I already have a PS4 and a big ass TV and a perfectly serviceable car. And
well, it shall be for a company that shall not be named. However, they can be rhymed with racy.
Oh, I used to work for them too.
Yeah. What department did you work in?
I was in charge of ordering all of the boxes and bags for every single store in the country.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
When was this?
A few years ago. It was a temp assignment. I was only there to help for the Christmas season of 15. So it was a temp job. I don't want to make it sound important. It paid shit.
But the department I worked in was domestics, so it was sheets and I had somebody come in once, no lie, and drop $7,000 on sheets. It made me question what kind of life I was living altogether. I was like, why is that even needed? Like, I went home and I had a serious discussion with my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, why do you need to do that?
I think that was a good cutoff point from the first question.
I think so too.
Where we all just kind of.
Well, what about you, RJ?
Yeah, you didn't answer.
See, I feel like mine's going to be so much more worse because you guys are the better people than I am in that regard. My only real want is to start and consistently fund a special needs sports league for children of all ages.
How does that make you a worse person?
Because you guys are wanting to change the world. Well, I guess mine is technically changing the world around me, so I guess I can say that. After I went ahead and bought a ridiculous house on the side of a mountain in Malibu for a couple million.
With a few Ferraris.
Nah, because they're too small. I have to get trucks. I'm tall. You ever try to actually get out of a Bugatti? It hurts.
I've never been within a fucking mile of a Bugatti. What?
Okay, so pause. The only reason I've ever been close to anything like that is one, the LA Car Show, and two so to tell you the weird part about our zoo that I used to work at.
Okay.
Our executive director, fantastic man, great. Every day he came to work, he would drive this really old, beat-up Ford pickup truck. The only day he wouldn't is when we had what was called Walk in the Wild, which was our big donor event. That day, he and his wife would pull up in the Maserati. And I'd be like, okay, Doc, we see you. It's like people can think this job doesn't pay something if they want to.
Shows how fucking backwards LA is.
What do you mean?
That they'd be like, I want to give you even more money even though you're pulling up in this expensive fast car.
I was just gonna that is contradictory at best.
How does that make sense?
Well, in all fairness though, because those tickets are super expensive. Like it was $50 a person.
Okay.
For a night at the park. Now mind you, beer, wine, whole bunch of different vendors would come with food. It's an awesome experience. But I understand your point. But it's still the funnest night in the world. Anybody who's never done one of those, you need to
go do
one.
If I went to a thing where I spent that much money on a ticket and the guy basically putting on the event pulls up in an expensive car a flashy, expensive car, I'd be like, where exactly is this money going to?
Hey, in all fairness, that man's been working for 35 years.
And
I'm just saying, out here grinding.
there are people out here working for 35 years that are happy when they can get a fucking...
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not.
Yeah, no.
that's not the grind. And I know I see where you're coming from. I can see where an event like that would probably be a hell of a lot of fun. I think that I would have a hell of a hard time these days not seeing it as a vulgar celebration of excess of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Because I don't. Well, a guy like that to be driving, I mean, like, I think that the perspective difference between us right now is that you saw him driving that pickup every day as the man showing his true self. Mm-hmm. And I have a hard time not seeing it the other direction.
Yeah.
Like, even though I understand that also contradicts with what I just said a minute ago about, like, when you live in capitalism, we have to just fucking deal with it. But I do think that there's got to be probably some difference between operating within the system you have and then being the kind of person who would present an average Joe face to the people who need to see him that way, and then presenting a millionaire face to the people who need to see him that way.
Yeah.
In a way, you could say that, like, that's just him obviously gaming the system, in which case, like, you know, good on you, I guess. Like, managing to, I think I would have a difficult time not having doubts about what his real motivations are, though.
I don't, and I understand, but to me, and maybe it's just growing up in LA, I think that's the world. Like, you know, that's the world that I grew up in.
Oh, it's very much the world we live in.
Yeah, where you kind of have
to. It's not reality.
You have to have the ability to be able to play in both sandboxes to be consistently successful.
You are not wrong.
Like,
that is just true of the way things are.
I look forward to the day when we have to do meetings with partners. I look forward to that because I think I can shine in that atmosphere. But likewise, that's not who I am every day. Every day I'm this. Every day I'm cool. Every day we have a Fiat. You know, I mean, we're not out here doing anything extravagant yet. Now, mind you, that's where I think you have always balanced me out. Like, you will always be the better parts of me.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are wants that I have now where, like, I remember
now?
when we were...
Now?
Okay, that I've always had. What? That I'll probably always continue to have.
Having them now doesn't exclude ever having had them in the past.
Yeah.
But
now and before.
Fine, it's just me. Whatever. But there are wants that I have that before you kind of drove me to being successful. Now it's after you, they don't drive me anymore. My drive is to want to make sure I can take care of the people around me, which has allowed me to be able to mature a whole lot more than what I had before that point.
Cat food break, cat food break.
Oh, real quick, shout out to our 2 subscribers. You guys know who
the fuck you are. Oh, wait, speaking of which, actually, we actually do know who one of them is. And I meant to shout her out at the beginning of the last episode, but totally forgot to. Hey, special shout out to our girl, Anna. What's up, Anna? How you doing?
Hi.
Pretty well, I hope. I hope everything's good for you and you're having a great day. You definitely made ours. And I don't, because I never met you, but I bet I would.
Because she is very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
She is. You would love her. You would think she was the most adorable thing in the world.
I probably would. The world. And I mean, I already am biased because, like, she's officially my first fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of her.
She was raving about your voice.
First of many.
First of many.
That's right.
All right. So, question 2.
Also, hang on, real quick. Shout out to my sister Kristen,
who's also one of our subscribers.
Who's also one of our. I think she's the other. Yeah, no, she's definitely the other subscriber because I asked her. So, as of recording this video, we only have 2 additional subscribers.
Yeah, spoiler: 3 of them are us.
Yeah.
3 of the 5 are us.
Hey, we love us some us.
Yes, we do. So she got finished with like half of the redacted episode and said that she was going to stop listening to it so that she could force her husband to listen to it too.
Aw.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kristen.
I know, right?
I'm excited.
Me too.
That's
So we
good
have our
times.
first fan of me and our first evangelist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Couldn't love that more.
Love you, Kristen. Love you, Dustin.
So, next question, and this is more of a lighter tone, but I'm still fascinated to hear what you guys say. What if you could change into any animal back and forth at your will, like you wouldn't be stuck there? By the way, this is a segue for us. We are eventually going to do the Animorphs book club, guys. So this is just a nice way to kind of lead into that.
We're just teasing it.
Yep. What animal would you change into and why?
You know, I want to say a dolphin.
But where you currently live, there's kind of a practical
Exactly.
issue there.
Yeah. See, it's difficult to just do one. Because there are a few that I would like to be able to change into.
That's why the Animorphs series exists, is because like
Mhm.
she couldn't. I don't have any idea like what the inspiration was for it. I'm asserting myself that the reason that book series exists is because K.A. Applegate was asked that exact question. She was like, "Fuck, I don't have one. Wait, what if I could have all of them?"
Done.
Hence, Animorphs.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, isn't the fact that it's the limiting it to one is why this is a difficult question.
So I'm trying to think. So I'm sorry.
That's fine.
He just tapped me on the back, like,
Come on now.
answer.
I was like, you're over here scooping ice cream.
Shit. I'm thinking. Okay.
Ignoring the viewers over here.
I'm not ignoring the viewers. You guys could have been talking. We can cut this whole fucking part out.
I was going to, but
You're like, now that you guys are giving me gold over here.
yeah, Amanda, why are you ignoring the viewers?
What's your problem with the viewers?
Kidding, I love you guys. Please keep watching. Yes, I do.
Well, since you're still thinking.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah, if you have an answer, please.
Yeah, mine has always been the same. I am a water kid. I would move into the ocean and be an orca faster than you would blink. It wouldn't take me very long. It wouldn't even be that hard of a choice.
So we're leaving. I hadn't thought about this till just now when you said that, because that's a commonly exploited species.
Mm-hmm.
Are we leaving out like current social considerations?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I was just hoping to bait us into an interesting topic because.
Well, in all fairness, and that's why I call them orcas. They are the most misunderstood.
They're up there.
Beautiful creatures.
They're real cool.
On the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the term killer whale.
Yeah.
I hate the term killer whale more than I hate the N-word. Not I hate completely.
Okay.
Is up there. I am not a big fan of but I hate the word killer. I hate the phrase killer whale with a passion because it is totally misleading.
Mm-hmm.
Totally misleading.
If I remember correctly, do you know the origin of it?
No. I used to study this like the back of my hand. Hey, what's that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I did have it right. That it for some reason it got inverted.
Mm-hmm.
But it was before it was killer whale. It was whale killer.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were observed hunting other whale species.
Yeah. If it was inverted, that I guess whatever. But still,
no, you're right. It still has, regardless of its lineage, it still has its implications, and they're completely non-favorable.
Like I've always felt stronger about animals in captivity unnecessarily than I have about people, which is hard because humans are your fellow man. But for me, for the most part, animals in captivity unnecessarily. Now, I say unnecessarily because working in a zoo, there are a bunch of animals who were raised in captivity who you could not introduce back due to either old age or genetic defects, where the only way they would actually survive would be in a park. So, and one of the cool things about working at the zoo that I worked at was that was a lot of the animals that we had were rescues. So it made me love that place more because I knew that's where they came from.
Sure.
So when I see places like SeaWorld, I get so mad. Well, okay, SeaWorld in relation to orcas. Yeah, I haven't wanted to go to SeaWorld in forever. I haven't. Why are you giving me that face?
The last time we went back home.
Yeah.
Your mom was talking about taking us to SeaWorld.
But that's because I was thinking more along the lines of like the sea turtles. And the polar bears. That polar bear that they have that's a rescue. I don't like going to the orca show. You've never seen me be excited about going to an orca show. Never in your short-legged life. Because you're short-legged.
It's not long-legged, yeah.
Yeah, because you have small legs.
Yeah.
Because you're little. And I like it. I like it. But I can't. And it used to be my favorite place in the world just because there was no other real place I could go and see them. But once you start hearing the stories, you start hearing about how they were originally captured.
But that's why I look at you like you're a hypocrite, because yeah, you want to go to see like the sea turtles and stuff like that, but you're still giving them the money.
Yeah. Well, SeaWorld, from what I understand, doesn't collect any more outside animals. So now they run into the same issue that what you would have before. How hard would it be to introduce animals that have been in captivity their whole lives to the open ocean? Would they survive?
Well, but how well do they do in captivity?
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing. Like, it's not, I would argue, any less unethical to reintroduce them to the wild when they've never been exposed to it in the first place as it is to keep them in captivity where they start to, well, just like humans, orcas are incredibly intelligent and incredibly social.
Mm-hmm.
You keep them in unfavorable conditions, just like humans, they start getting antisocial.
Mm-hmm.
They start fucking raking each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think an argument could be made that that's any better. They probably would at least have. Well, no, that's overstepping. I can't say that. I don't know that it would be any better for them to be sent back out into the wild when they've never been there. But I don't think it could possibly be any worse.
And I think that's what you run into now if you are. I mean, mind you, that's not the reason why they keep them there. I know that. I'm not dumb enough to think that that's the only reason that they keep them there is for their own safety.
Oh, no,
especially considering they're...
Yeah, they do it to make
they
money.
might not be collecting anymore, but they're breeding the ones that they have now.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is keeping them in unnatural conditions completely
extremely.
100% for exploitation purposes.
Yeah.
Because you could totally... I bet. Although, as before, I'll admit this is speculation, but I bet that you could introduce a very young orca to an existing pod.
And they would take care of it.
I think there's... I only say that that's not 100% speculation, because I feel pretty confidently that I have read that such behavior is has been observed in nature among them.
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong about that, but
there's an abandoned or orphaned baby, then the pod that finds them takes them in.
Yeah.
Similar
to like gorillas.
As long as it's not a male.
Well, yeah.
Right, yeah, gorillas are...
Yeah, as long as it's not a guy. Nah, you can't step in here, Chief. It's not for you. But no, there's something really cool about the first time you see an orca in the open ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I imagine.
It's that is on my bucket list of trips. Because I want to go to Alaska. I want to go on an Alaskan whale watching visit and watch them migrate.
See, so my answer was going to be something similar. It was going to be dolphins, although hearing you say that, I probably would prefer orca as well, because dolphins are assholes.
They can be. They're not like that all the time.
Like watching like the documentaries and stuff like that. In their pods, they're such more assholes than orca are. Orcas.
Orcas.
It's orca sounds like it should be the plural.
No, orcas.
I was gonna say that too. I never even thought about that before. I think I always assumed that the plural of orca was orca.
Yeah, kind of like
sure
deer or fish.
To the internet.
To the internet. There should be like a bat symbol that shows up. The internet symbol. You do like the old Internet Explorer symbol and have a flash on the screen.
Apparently, it's either or.
Oh.
According to Word Hippo, the plural form of orca is orcas or orca.
So, like deer or fish.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
Well, technically, fishes.
The plural of deer is only deer, and the orca of fish. The plural of fish is only fish. You can say fishes, but that's antiquated.
Is it really?
Well,
okay.
so is deers.
No, nobody says deers. Deer has always been the plural of deer. It's not accepted that anyone
to the internet.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say deers.
I've
heard fishes.
I hear people say it sometimes, but they're incorrect.
Yeah, I always feel weird when I would feel weird if I heard somebody say deers. Like I saw a bunch of deers.
God damn it, grammarist. Deers is an accepted plural, but is rarely used. The word deer comes from the Old English word deor, which means four-legged animal or beast.
So,
that's the Dutch word.
As you guys were growing up, was this a consistent thing?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so bad.
Why do you think we check everything that each other says?
I would. See, you guys are much better.
Now that we have that like at the ready,
it's actually
we had
made things
so
easier.
many debates.
Oh, you guys are
is,
so much better people than me and my brothers were.
Because
no lie, we would have ended up killing each other if we were like that.
We are now.
We are now.
Keep in mind, this is after many years of growth and maturation.
That's fair.
Well, that and the internet.
I'd rather credit us being good people, although you're probably right. I think that part of it is, I mean, it doesn't help at all that we're both just like really fucking headstrong people. And I think we do come by that naturally. But it doesn't help with our socialization. Like the way that we were taught was that like being correct is 100% irrelevant. It's being able to beat another person into believing that you're correct is what matters, because that's the way that our family argues. It like the actually correct, actually informed, not in fucking matter. That plays no role in who wins an argument. And so we, I think, learned from that growing up. That was the example that we were set, and we were children, so obviously.
I gotta say though, the fact that after we start cooling down, I can come to you and say, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to just like make you like admit that I was right. I was just trying to get my point across. I do apologize. You know, the fact that I can do that, even if it takes a couple hours.
That's actually massive individual progress.
Like, he can be my witness.
Well, no, it's not. That's hard enough to do anyway.
It is.
That's a difficult enough thing to do. Like, humans in general have a problem saying, you know what, I was wrong. So, like, our upbringing on top of that, like, I don't want to call it natural. I do think that's very much a societal thing, because it's not true the world over, but it's very, very much true for Americans. No, and even that varies per region, I bet. But I'm being too allowance. You know, that we have that tendency because of the way that society at large is, and then also the very specifically aggressive way our family is. I mean, the fact of having been able to like deprogram yourself from that at all is like, that's a huge step, and it shows like massive personal growth, I think. Although, again, to be fair, when I say that, I am also patting my own back, because I've done the same goddamn thing, and I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to cut those claps and put them back in so that they happen when this happens.
Yes. I was going to say the last time we did it, you didn't clap. So make sure to cut that in twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what about you? You said you and your brothers? Like, is that still the way you are? Or is it...
we those two are the most stubborn individuals in the history. Don't give me that face. I'm not stubborn. I don't beat you into submission per se with my stubbornness.
There are different types of stubborn.
I am more the stubborn type where I will let you get your point across and then probably still do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel my way is better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're probably not that way. It's just that the hill we'll die on is probably earlier than that. Because it comes to, like, it's not, it's not like, fine, we agree to disagree, now fuck off. It's, we will stay here until you are fucking willing to admit.
Damn it.
This will go on for as long as it has to.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Because it's, it's not about what I
I will stay up all fucking night to okay, so I gotta say though, for me it's not necessarily the fight. It is, at least with him at this point in my life, as much as I have like worked on myself, at this point in our, like at the beginning maybe it was about the fight because whatever, but now the reason that I will keep you up to all freaking the wee hours of the morning is because you don't want you. This is going to come out wrong, but let me just blabber through it and then you'll eventually get the point. You don't want to have the fight. So you not wanting to have the fight makes it like, kind of puts off this air of you don't want to talk about whatever it is I'm trying to talk about.
I'm with you. I do the same fucking thing to people. I do. I know, what you're going to say, and I'm 100% in agreement, actually.
At this point, he knows when I'm getting so serious to where it could develop into a fight, so he just shuts down immediately. Instead of talking it out with me and seeing if possibly this time it doesn't turn into a fight, because we're actually talking it out, he just shuts down, and that pisses me off.
I get you.
Because then at that point, I'm just like, but I'm trying to talk to you about, I'm not trying to have a fight. I'm just trying to talk to you about it. And you're not talking to me about it. And this is obviously an important fucking thing, or else you wouldn't be so upset right now to where you're shutting down. I wouldn't be so upset to where I want to talk about it. And then it turns into a fight because he was trying to avoid a fight.
I had the same thing with my last ex. It was because she was like, so like, I could only describe it as aggressively non-confrontational. Whereas that makes any sense at all.
It does.
It was. She was incapable of having a serious discussion about personal matters if it came to anything resembling a disagreement. I think part of that was she would shut the fuck down all the way if there was a possibility she might be told she was wrong. And a lot of it, because she would come home to me from work all the time with just in a fucking horrible mood because she was like convinced that someone had said something to her or about her that was just incredibly whatever, insensitive or offensive or just shitty. And she'd come home just the worst fucking mood and be like, what's the matter? What's wrong? You okay? And she'd eventually tell me what it was. And like she got more and more reluctant over time because I understand a lot of people are going to respond to this. Like, sometimes people just need to feel like they're heard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that 100%. And if I hadn't already spent years making sure that I was the one who fucking made her feel heard, but when for like years on end in a row, she comes back with the same complaints over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I observed the difference between the way she feels things went and the way I see them going when I see her interacting in person with those same people. Eventually I'm going to have to ask a question or two about, is the thing that happened really what happened? or is this your own personal, always goes for the worst case scenario misinterpretation of it?
Mm-hmm.
Because she was essentially incapable of believing that people say anything in good faith, whether positive or negative. If somebody complimented her, her natural reaction was not to believe them. If somebody said anything that was like vaguely sideways to her, she took it as meaning the worst possible thing about her. And I tried a bunch of times, and like I did my absolute damnedest best not to be patronizing, not to be condescending. It was just like look, this seems to happen a lot, and I feel like just from what I've observed, when I see you actually hanging out with that person, interacting with that person, it doesn't seem to me as if they've really ever had anything other than generally good things to say to you, or when they've said something critical, they've actually, tended to be pretty gentle about it. Do you think that this might just be a misinterpretation? And that's where like it just shut down immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because the assumption was, 100% of the time, it was weird, but it was without fail, no matter what the thing was. If it wasn't like the most over the top glowing commendation, then it must have been a teardown.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just a hell of a time getting through that. Just maybe you're misreading this more often than not, because I see the way people interact with you. I hear them talk about you when you're not around. I'm telling you, I'm telling you for a certainty, people actually like you.
It's a thing. I swear.
Generally speaking, people think you kind of fucking rock.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
It would be awesome if you could like maybe ever find your way around to believing them when they say it, because you'd be a lot happier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that thought process, that there's still times where I'm like, somebody will say something to me that's not, it's completely benign or even good.
Even if it's completely unintentional, still manage to like hit you in an insecurity.
Yeah. Like often.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, I understand, because
Yeah.
I totally respond the same way. I feel that. I also... we talked about this before a little bit. I think that like my weird fundamental total confidence and also insecurity like coexisting.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand.
I find that so fascinating about you guys, though, because you both are incredibly intelligent.
We're both legitimately the shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
beautiful individuals.
Yeah.
So to find you being that way is a fascinating concept. Like anytime somebody tells her how
You're
gorgeous she
that
looks,
way.
you can see the face.
Yeah, you're
First
the
of all.
same.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
You're exactly the same.
I don't know, too.
You say that's fascinating, but you say that's fascinating the same way that psychiatrist talking to somebody with the same issues as them is like, that is so fascinating.
Well, no, with okay, you know what? No, honestly, if anything, you guys are better at it than I am, because at least you're honest about it. Me, I hide mine. Like, to the average person who I'm not close to, who doesn't really know me,
Yeah.
would never know that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've seen me at work. You've seen me among people who, I'm still very close to them.
Uh-huh.
But there's always been that wall. There's a which is why this is such a cool experiment for me, like for us doing this together. It's challenging. And I don't know why it's challenging. But, well, I do know why it's challenging. It's that level of vulnerability is tough for me.
I know.
Because even before we got married, it was always easier to have somebody at a distance because they couldn't hurt you. There's this very fine wall, even if they didn't know that wall was there, which looking back on it, I kind of always prided myself that they didn't know that wall was there.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing you, that's clear. Well, because you're not even as comfortable with me, I don't think, as you would like to be.
No,
because
Yeah, and honestly, it takes a really long. Even with her, it took a long time before that wall didn't exist.
Not as long as some other people, though.
Very true. Like
Which I pride myself on.
there was an easiness about you that I had never had before in my life.
See, that's what I always hear that fucking stuff about myself. And I always have people that are like willing to just spill their entire souls to me.
Dude, me too.
And I'm like, I don't know why.
You guys both have that gift.
No freaking clue why.
Same. I think my thing is that because I have spent some time thinking about that, because people do tend to open up to me real fast, and I'm like, I take that as a compliment for sure. Like I like that they feel that comfortable with me that quickly, because it does happen more often than not. But I also can't help but wonder if it's for the wrong reason. Not the wrong reason, just not one I would prefer. Like, if people understood that they could be open with me because I will absolutely tend to be fairer
than most
in my judgment, because a lot of things that society demonizes I don't, and vice versa. Like, well, I guess I'm more often than not, I'm pretty willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. I never assume anybody does anything in bad faith. And that does get me hurt from time to time. But the thing is, when you give people that grace, more often than not, it's rewarded. Because most people are better people than they think they are. It's just that they're more likely to be judged harshly. But the thing is, when people open up to me about stuff, I also legitimately don't care at all about any of what they're telling me. I don't give half a shit most of the time, and they just get it all out there, and I'm like, you know what? I hope this is helping you, because I'm
getting nothing from this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not getting
totally
anything from this.
So, see, this is why I hate that people. Okay, here I don't want to say I hate that people do this, because there are some people that I have let in a little bit, that I don't mind so much. But depending on who it is, I'm the same way. There are some people that I'm just like, that's amazing, and I can like put on all of the emotion on my face, and it's just like in my head I'm like, I really don't give a shit.
This is the thing.
I do
the opposite of that.
Shit.
Well, because if I was wearing anything at all, it would be what I was really feeling, which is like, can we not right now? Can we stop? Because I don't want to. I don't
want this.
So like, usually I don't feign anything I'm not feeling. Like, I don't really give people like affirmation. Yeah. I don't play like,
you don't put on the show.
Yeah, I really don't. Yeah. I don't give them compassion and love and all that. You know, I mean, unless, I don't mean that I never do that. I mean, like, when they're just going on and on about shit I don't care about. I don't do that. Oh yeah, I'm just usually like,
So
it's like completely just deadpan.
I mean,
no
it
emotion.
Okay,
and they still,
there are levels. There are levels for me. There's in the middle where it's like, I really don't give a shit about what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I have to deal with you on a regular basis. So yeah, oh dude, all the emotion. There, down from that is, I really just don't even like you. So that'll be where I'm just like, oh yeah? Huh.
Okay.
I've seen interesting. That one.
And then above that is people that I actually do kind of like. And then that's when I actually do start to care about what they're telling me, but then that gets exhausting.
Yeah, it does.
So exhausting. And it's like, I don't like anybody that I do love that is listening to this, know that if I look, Anna, Kristen, I'm sure there are a couple other people that eventually will listen to this, that you know who you are.
Seconded. If you got anything,
if you got to talk to me, just come to me. You know, I'm here no matter what. And I actually do give a shit about what you're telling me.
And same for me. If you know, whoever you are, if you know me and you ever had the impression I actually cared about you, understand that is genuine.
Yes.
It's true. If you had that, it's not a misconception. I actually love you.
But for those of you who are just like, I don't know, maybe. Possibly.
Maybe talk to me less.
Yeah.
I wonder, because I feel like I'm in a weird position in between you two in this regard. Amanda, as far as that goes, the performativity, do you feel like there's a gendered aspect to that at all? Because that's something I know a lot of women talk to when they talk about this kind of stuff is basically having to play the role of having actual interest and having real compassion when they don't feel it.
Absolutely. Like you're saying, like, I feel like because I'm a woman, I have to do that.
Well, I'm not saying that that's true of you. I'm asking if that's the case.
No, that's what I was saying is, are you asking that? Then yes.
That's what I'm asking.
Absolutely. Because, well, that and, I mean,
You're a mother.
I'm a mother. So I'm kind of used to having to feign interest.
Sure.
Like I'm supposed to know who all of child 2, 1, and 2's friends are.
Well, I would say that's still very much a gendered thing, right? Like that you need to know that as a mother, and maybe you don't feel quite as obligated to be that as a father. Like, or, again, question, not statement. Like, would you feel more free to ask, wait, who the hell's that? Or do you need to play along, RJ?
Nah, I'm more who the hell's that? Just because
same.
Yeah, where it's like, I mean, I care, and I tell them this all the time. I care about the fact that you care about it. That's about the extent.
My favorite thing is when he reaches his threshold with child 1. When he will be explaining some video game or anime or whatever. And then he'll just cut him off and be like, so, this running back ran for this or rushed for whatever, however you say it. Obviously, I'm not sports.
I also am not sports. No, honestly, that's like a more creative approach than I took when I was in the same situation with the same kid. Because like I didn't. It really came down to my mood on a given day where I'd let him go on and on if he just was in the mood to talk about something that he liked, and I wasn't really minding it so much. But like there were. I don't want to say there were times. It was more often than not that like he'd be in that and it would go on for more than about 5 minutes. And I'd be like, dude, ask yourself whether I signed up for this conversation.
But no,
I love you, but I'm not interested in this, or I would have been actively engaging. That's how you know that somebody wants to talk with you about a thing. Is
when I use the sports analogy, he'll normally get it. He'll be like,
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. It's the cutest thing too, because he'll be going on and 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 on, and then RJ busts in with something like that, and then he just shuts up.
It's like, cool.
Yeah. I mean, I could never be like real awful about it or anything, because like to do so would be just so flagrantly unself-aware. Because I'm the same goddamn way worse as a kid, but I still do it. I have a much better idea when to shut the fuck up now than I did then, but like I still do it. Maybe I don't do it as much, but my natural inclination is to want to. Because I want to just talk about the shit I like, and nobody else fucking does. So, shut up. Only now I have you guys.
Like, yes. This is cool. I like it.
You can just talk and talk and talk all you want.
Well, and the cool thing is that like,
and then we talk too.
Yeah, even when it is that, it's like usually it does still manage to spark something where it's like, maybe it's not something you spend a whole lot of time thinking about, but then you're like, wait a minute, I have an opinion on this.
Yeah, I have some thoughts.
I didn't say it. I was hoping somebody else would say it.
I have some thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That one you don't have to cut in.
Came through clearly.
Thanks.
And then last question for me for this evening, and this was the big one.
Pause.
Okay.
Aww.
I just didn't want to get it started.
Right. That's fine.
So I wish I had the ability to transmit smells via the internet.
I know.
Oh.
I can't believe this apartment right now.
That looked amazing.
Those meatballs turned out pretty nice.
You're like, I'm kind of excited.
I'm okay with it.
Let me read this question correctly.
I don't even remember what it was.
All right.
Wait, what were we talking about? Weren't we talking about something? Oh, you were about to read the question. Never mind.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. All right. You find a book and begin to read only to discover that it's your life. You get to the point that you are in now. Do you turn the page knowing that you will not be able to change the events to come?
You should have yelled it because it was all in
Wait
caps.
a minute. We didn't.
Wait.
We
what
didn't
animal?
actually answer. Yeah.
No. What animal were you going to turn into? Because we skipped you. Because Amanda said orcas too.
Oh.
Well,
really?
no, I didn't. I said I was going to.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what
But
happened.
then
Okay.
I was thinking about it,
Yeah.
and that severely
Sorry.
limits me to only being able to do so when I'm at the ocean. We don't get to do that very often.
Very true. I'm moving us
I
to
don't know what the
water.
hell made me think of that, but it just sparked. I was like, oh my god,
Thank you.
I didn't even think anything about. I am so
We talked
sorry.
about a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much. But I think I would change my answer to some sort of bird, probably like a hawk or something.
Could you bring yourself to kill?
Well,
A
I can
rabbit?
change back and forth at will.
Yeah,
When
you
I'm
don't need
hungry,
to,
I
like,
just change
subsist.
back to human.
I say that. What's the fun in that though?
Flying.
I'm totally
Yeah.
going after a seal.
The flying,
As an orca, I'm totally
the
going
freedom
after a seal.
of
I imagine.
you would go and kill a great white just to
Oh,
say you
just
did.
to say I did it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I guess. Well, okay. So, like, do our instincts match our animal selves? I mean, are we going full animorphs here?
And that's why that's the part that wasn't in that question I was curious about. So
Yeah.
do you have the animal brain in you too? Because then you can't stop it.
Well, you could stop it, but if I could just give into the animal instinct of the animal I'm changing into, like, then I could be an orca. I'm not exactly thalassophobic, but I'm not. The deep
Right.
ocean scares the living shit out of me.
Fair.
That endless abyss of dark is fucking terrifying, right? But I'm also a weird motherfucker. I would probably go down there if I could. Like, I would go visit the Challenger Deep probably if I had the opportunity. But I would be scared out of my mind the whole time. But I would love to have the experience.
Absolutely.
Like, so I don't know. But like, I mean, to be free in it, because like, if you're actually in the Marianas Trench, you are in a vehicle specifically designed to withstand those kinds of. But if I was like free, I've never been in the ocean more than waist deep.
I haven't even been that far. What ankles? That's it.
Yeah. To see under it any further than sunlight can reach from the surface, seeing footage of it makes me, which is weird because like, well, it's not weird at all. Like, you know, Subnautica,
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
I adore it. It's one of my favorite games fucking ever. But playing it is fucking stressful. And I do go back to it constantly. It's not one of those games that like I really, really want to play because like I like it and it's fun, but I avoid it because it's also scary. Like The Evil Within 2. I've never finished it, even though I really love playing it. But like I don't want to deal with the stress. When
Yeah.
Subnautica, I do want to deal with the stress. I really, really like it. It's rewarding to do because once you push through the really scary shit, you're rewarded by beauty. Once you go as deep as you can go, there's still really, really cool, gorgeous shit to see down there. They balance the atmosphere with they balanced the atmospheric tension with the atmospheric release very, very well. To do that in real life, it's not the same.
Nah.
Like we got a lot of really, really neat looking shit underwater, but we don't have the Jelly Shroom Cave. Peaceful places surrounded by horrible, terrifying danger. That there's not even that to look forward to, even as an orca. I can go deep, but not so deep. but deep enough to see that there's a place I can't see anymore. And that isn't just like a particular location. That's the entirety of the ocean, any deeper than I currently am. And knowing that that abyss exists below me all the time, even as a human, with the knowledge of what's down there. Which is to say, not really all that much.
Nope.
Yeah.
Truthfully. I know that, like intellectually I know it, but there's still that gut, fuck this.
Like, I want no part of it.
That, like, that is scary because of what could be there that I don't know about. So I don't know. If I couldn't just turn that off, I don't want to be an orca, even though being an orca would be the shit.
Nah, it's something. I've always found a serenity in the ocean because there's nothing I can do if something like that happens. I find the same serenity in the ocean as I do in death.
I know, right?
Ooh.
Because there comes a point where you have to give in to the idea that I am powerless to stop that. And because I try and take so much control over my own life and trying to dictate where certain thing goes, to have that understanding about those two things that I can't do anything about either one of those is sometimes peaceful. About myself.
I get that.
Other people, I find it harder. Like with family, if it happens with family, it's harder because that's, again, me trying to control something that I want to change, but I can't change it. But for myself, if I fall off a cruise ship and I land in the Atlantic, it's a wrap. I can't do anything about that. Like, there's no changing that. I wasn't built for that. we're there. Like, it is what it is. Like, at that point, the serenity of it is like, you know what? Why? You had a great run. There ain't nothing you can do about this. Like, you can't fight this. Look around you. It's over.
I don't feel that way about the ocean because the ocean's extremely avoidable.
Yeah.
I just don't have to go there.
That's fair. That is fair. As I guess because the ocean's always been a part of my life, I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
It's always been a part
most
of my
people who probably grew up on it don't think of it that way, I bet.
Like, it's there. Like, I always get a kick whenever I go with somebody who's never seen the ocean before. That first face is everything.
Seeing the ocean for the first time did almost nothing for me, but I think it was because it was in the evening and I was on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like,
I've heard that from a lot of people who see the Atlantic for the first time. They're like, whatever.
Yeah, it's honestly like, that's a lot of water. I've seen pretty big lakes too. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I still haven't seen the Atlantic.
Yeah.
In real life.
It's not that exciting. However, I did get to go back later the next night after it got dark, and sitting on the shore at night was super unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, the waves aren't water; they're just black.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fucking creepy.
Oh.
Like, it was really uncomfortable.
I actually, the first time I got a chance to see the ocean at night was my prom night, and I had never seen the ocean at night before. It was full moon too, so at least that helped somewhat. But you're right; you get a chance to feel that power, like that. The unsettling part about it is that out there right now, if you were to get sucked, it's over with.
Well, no, I think what it was is, and I wouldn't have had words to put to it until later, nowish, is that fear of that unknown, that specifically physical unknown, that abyss, that I would feel being near the surface but seeing down into the deep, past where you can't see anymore. Nighttime brings that to the surface and washes onto the shore. So the abyss actually expands and becomes the whole of the water. And so now it's not something you have to be hundreds of feet above and peer into. Now it's actually it's reaching out for you in a very physical, immediate way.
See, I've never seen the ocean. Well, I've never been on the shore at night.
Oh, so yeah, you've seen it
I've seen well, not just that. I've seen it from the plane, but also when we were in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
You could just see it out of our window.
Yeah.
Because we were so damn high up anyway. So I've seen the ocean at night in real life, but I've never been on the shore at night. But hearing you guys explain this, it feels like, and maybe this is just how much more goth I am than either of you. That sounds like that would be the most serene time for me to see the ocean, and how much I love, like every time we go back, I have to go to the beach at least for a minute.
I do wonder if I would feel differently now, because that was, I was 17.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just a vastly different person in so many ways now. I mean, you know, not just like politically and religiously, like we've discussed, just nothing about me is recognizable. I don't think, for my 17-year-old self.
Yeah.
I've done everything's different, I think, nearly. So I don't know how I would feel now, because it's been that long since I've seen it. I'm 33, so maybe going back now, it might be an entirely different feeling. I bet it would. I just remember the impression it left me with at the time.
Your Pacific Ocean trip will be coming. You'll come with us one month. It'll be exciting. I think I'll enjoy it. My mom can't wait to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my
she asks
gosh.
about you all the time.
You need to come with us. Next time we can take a vacation and go out there. You need to come with us.
Yeah. The only problem is I don't think you'll want to leave. You'll be like, so their job's here. I can do this.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be fine.
No joke. I actually, that's like a legit concern.
Mm-hmm.
I have kind of like an apprehension about going to California, because I'm already pretty convinced that, like, if I go and I see it firsthand and I feel it firsthand and smell it firsthand, I'm going to be like, you know, actually,
I don't need to go.
this is fine. I think I'm good from now on. You think I can get a refund on that, like, return ticket? Because I don't think I'm gonna do that.
I think we're gonna make this happen. Thanks.
Yeah, gonna stay out here. That would make recording really difficult, though.
Oh no,
until we could move.
Yeah, I would say once we move, yeah. You just have to move.
You wouldn't. Because what's 8 o'clock for you?
5 o'clock for you.
Well, that's
Way
what I'm
better.
saying. But that's what I'm saying, though, is if you have like a 9 to 5 out there,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't be able to start till like 6. That would be 9 for us, and if we have to get to bed by 10.
True.
Well, there's not really such a thing as a 9 to 5.
Nah.
Yeah.
Everybody works 8 to 4.
Yeah. Well, you in traffic, it'd be more like 7 to 5, depending on where you lived.
Yeah.
But I digress. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking.
We're working out logistics of an imaginary situation.
Hey, that's all this is. It's hypotheticals. It's good times.
I don't know. I assume I would probably be a cat or something.
Yeah.
Or something like, I don't know. I don't think I have like a particularly exciting. It's a really obvious choice, but like, chill, strong as fuck, incredibly fast, and can jump like 6 times my height.
I can see you as a
And
cat.
also not be exotic enough to like get captured and killed, because like nobody gives a fuck about cats. Regular cats, domestic cats. I'm not saying I would want to be like a cheetah or a tiger or something, because like they get killed constantly.
They do.
Like cats do too, but usually it's because they get hit by cars. Like most of the time, if there's anything like actively hunting them, whether it's human or otherwise, they can pretty much avoid it, provided they like have knowledge of the surroundings at all. So it seems like
cat, he doesn't care about you.
like life as a cat would be like fairly easy and also just fun to be. I bet.
I love that he's just ignoring all of my.
Your cat statements.
Yeah.
She can't hear you, so it doesn't matter.
I know.
I don't know.
But
If I had like
that
a more
was the
fun
only
answer,
one I was just
also like same as you, some manner of bird. Have to be a bird of prey, just because again, diminished odds of dying from it. But
right.
Yeah.
Right.
whether That was going to be a falcon or a hawk or an owl. What else would be pretty cool to be an owl?
Owls are pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And silent killers.
More fun.
If you wanted the
ringtail lemur?
Ooh.
They're pretty goddamn cool. They're also
They are.
They're amazing climbers. They're cute as fuck. And they live in an environment where they don't have a whole lot in the way of natural predators.
Sure.
And they chill. The lesser primates are also just, I mean, all of them in general are pretty cool, but I like ring-tailed lemurs. I like that they bounce sideways for some reason when they travel on land instead of in the air. I just find that endearing.
I know. They're so cute.
Let's settle on that. Like, provided I can still stay in the Galapagos, then I would be a ring-tailed lemur.
I like that. So, last question of the evening. Trace.
Numero trace.
Now you gotta find it again.
And I gotta read it again because I actually want to make sure I read this one because I find this one very interesting. And I was told to read it like this. You find a book.
Why are you yelling at me?
You find a book and begin to read only to discover that it is your life. You get to the point that you are at now. Do you turn the page knowing that you will not be able to change the events to come? All right, we'll start off with you, Christopher.
No.
Or do you want to start?
No.
What, me?
Yes.
Yeah, you haven't gone first yet.
All right.
Yeah, I went first, then he went first. Now you switch.
No.
I didn't go first. I never went first at all.
That's what I'm
saying. You went first both times.
Oh, no. No, I didn't go first both times.
Didn't you?
No, I started off with Orca.
No, you're right.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You
Yeah.
did. Well, I still
I
don't
take it
wanna go
back.
first.
And Christopher.
Okay.
I didn't mean that because I still don't want to go first. I will. It's fine. I do. Oh, here's a problem. Can I just not have the book?
No.
I just don't want the book.
Yeah, but if it's
you know what
there.
I mean? Because like, if I found a book and it was that, this is compounded by. Did you play Alan Wake?
Yes.
You did. Okay, cool.
Yes. That's why I laughed when I saw your text.
Okay. Yeah.
In the notes, I thought it was hilarious.
Because I just I finished it today. I played it a bit last weekend, a bit this weekend. The reason I did that was because I just finished Control, and I wanted more Remedy. I just wasn't feeling remedied up enough, so I grabbed Alan Wake because it's fucking super cheap.
Never played Alan Wake.
You totally should. I think you would love it. Play on easy because there's bits that just get fucking stupid. Remedy has always had issues with their difficulty curves and their pacing. Some of the shit is just like laughably.
Saying that because I'm a woman.
I'm saying that because you're not as experienced a gamer. I just now finished a playthrough on normal and I wished I'd played on fucking easy. Okay.
You're like, you're not going to get me caught up in this Me Too movement. That was not my intention.
I'm not above it. I play the fuck out of games on easy. You know what else I played this weekend? I played Untitled Goose Game. Unashamedly, because I love cute shit. Oh my god, please play Untitled Goose Game, though. It is so cute.
I'm putting it in the notes.
Yeah.
So getting back.
I bet I would turn the page. I don't know that I'd be able to stop myself from doing that. I think the curiosity would get too much of me. I hope. I like to think I would have better self-control than that. I don't know for sure that I would. I think I probably would not. Well, the reason I bring up Alan Wake is to be revealed. Why don't you guys go first?
Okay.
Don't go first. I just went first. You go next, and like once you're done, I'll say why I thought to bring up Alan Wake.
Okay. Because I have no idea about this game, so you probably.
I will give you a brief summary.
I would like to believe that for me it would depend on how many more pages are left.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
I did not even think about that nonsense.
Like if there were only a few pages left, I'd like to believe that I would not turn the page.
Sure.
But if there was like a good half a book left. I think I turn the page, read maybe a couple more pages, see what's going on.
It's the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Just, see what I need to watch out for. But if there's like maybe a chapter left, I'd be like, it would kill me because I would wonder, but I would hope that I would have enough. Because the chapter could still
be like, and she lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
There could be there could be nothing of note, right?
Right.
There could be like, and there's nothing else to report. She lived until she was 90.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But,
it doesn't necessarily mean like you die tomorrow or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But I would like to believe that I could just set it down and be like, you know what? That's how I'm just going to live like everything else in my life is going to be completely ordinary. Nothing else crazy, awesome or horrible is going to happen. And that's just like there was literally nothing else to report other than how much longer I live.
Sure.
And I want to just pretend that that's what it says. But it would kill me inside wanting to go back and find that book again to find out if that was the case. And I would probably be a little paranoid. Like, but what if I only have a month? What about you, Mother?
I'm throwing it in a dumpster and setting it on fire. I'm watching it burn to make sure that I can't go back and rescue it later. I don't want to know.
What if it's like Jumanji?
That's fantastic. I'd find some other way to hide it. I'd throw it in that lockbox that they threw in the bottom of the ocean. I'd do that.
But, obviously, considering they keep coming back.
I know, man.
Jumanji. That doesn't work.
Obviously, that thing gets around. Nope. I do not. I have no desire to know. I believe that my merits will dictate what this fate looks like, regardless of what we do. So, nah. I don't know.
I really, really like that idea. Like I said, I want that to be true of me. I don't know that I'd be able to overcome the temptation.
Yeah, it would be difficult.
Anytime knowledge is dangled in front of me, I need to grab it over anything. The most mundane shit that has no impact on my life whatsoever and no consequence for me at all. When there's something that's like, hey, you could know this if you click, I'd be like, fuck, well, now I have to. Like,
that's how you.
What do doctors hate?
I need to know this.
I don't actually fall for clickbait that much, but like, I'm not gonna lie, when I see those dumbass headlines at the ads at the bottom of articles, I'm always like, 10 tips to whatever. Like, obviously, I need to know them and then never ever put them into practice, I guess.
Maybe.
See how much.
Lose weight using this one weird trick. I'm like, I love weird tricks.
It's not gonna work. But let's see what it is.
Not damn fool enough to actually click, but I want to, like, badly, because you can't. I'm aware enough of that mechanism that they're exploiting, that they're taking advantage of that very human desire to know, and so I don't click. But God damn it, I want to, because that just is me. That just is so me. You can't, even if it's something I'm not even the slightest bit interested in. You can't tell me, hey, I know a thing you don't know, and I'm not going to tell you, without me going like, well, no, but tell me.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Please? I suddenly have a yearning for this knowledge, and share it, please. And if I had that in front of me and it so directly pertained to my own life, I'm falling for the clickbait. I have to. I hate it. I wish I didn't. I wish I was. I have that kind of self-control where it's stuff that I know is in fact inconsequential, but no. A book that was actually the story of my life and continued beyond the exact moment I was reading it, I think I probably would. I think I'd read it. I think I wouldn't want to, and I would hate myself for doing it. Not that I wouldn't hate myself for doing it. I would hate knowing.
Nah.
I would hate knowing that for sure. But I think that just that it was information I could have and pass up on, I can't see me passing up on it.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. Why were you going to bring up Alan Wake?
I was going to bring up Alan Wake because... Oh, okay. So for Amanda's benefit and viewers, if you haven't played Alan Wake, I really recommend it. It's just a really, really good game. If you're into video games, play Alan Wake. If you're not that into video games, watch a Let's Play or get somebody that you love that loves to play video games to play Alan Wake and sit there and hang out with them and watch Alan Wake. Because even if it's not a game that you want to play because you don't like to play games, or it's not a game you want to play because you don't like to play that particular kind of game, it's a really, really good story worth sitting through. If it was a serial or a movie instead of a game, I would recommend it just the same.
I love that you call them serials, like you're in England.
Well, because it could be a TV show or a novel series or Anyway. In any case, a serial.
He gets the most adorable look on his face when we compliment him on something cute like that.
No.
Thanks, guys.
Secretly, I do know I'm cute.
Yeah.
But so, for those of you who have no interest, this is me spoiling the run of it. If you have any interest, I will mark the time to stop and the time to re-enter, because it's a really spoilerific game, and I don't want to ruin this for people who haven't experienced it. To avoid getting too spoilery, to boil it down as much as possible, Alan Wake is the story. It's the story of a writer writing himself while he's writing himself. Okay, so he's this famous author, and he's most famous for the series of like hard-boiled detective action stories. Do you know of Max Payne?
Yeah.
Do you remember Max Payne from back in the day?
Yeah.
Same company.
Okay.
Remedy, that makes these games. The character that Alan Wake writes is named Alex Casey, so it's not actually Max Payne, but it is Max Payne exactly because they're both voiced by the same guy and exactly in the same style. So basically, Alan Wake writes Max Payne.
Okay.
Alan and his wife, he's got this horrible writer's block happening. So he and his wife go on what's supposed to be kind of a vacation to this little Pacific Northwest town called Bright Falls. Mm-hmm. And weird shit starts happening almost immediately. The reason for this is there's a darkness that lives in the lake at Bright Falls. And it's something ancient. The same power, though, that the lake holds, that art created in the vicinity of it tends to become manifest in reality.
Oh.
Yeah, it's real cool. And so Alan's writing starts coming true because the lake, well, not the lake itself, but the power behind it makes it manifest. Mm-hmm. The same power is tied to this darkness, and the darkness touches anything and corrupts it. It also makes use of people who have the power to make the kind of art that the power beneath the lake makes manifest. What's really, really interesting and unique about Alan Wake, just by being a writer, a fiction writer, is that the power makes his stories come true. The darkness can use his power to make itself more powerful, because all he has to do is write it into existence, and it is. Mm-hmm. But it's also subject to the same rules, right? So anything he writes comes true. If he writes himself escaping the darkness, he escapes the darkness. If he writes the darkness becoming less powerful somehow, it has no choice but to do so, because that's what's made real. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, at the very beginning of the story, it takes his wife. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he loses a week's worth of time. And what he spends that whole week doing is writing the story that darkness wants him to write, so that the darkness can become more powerful, because by this point it's touched him. It's made him believe that what it wants is best. Only he realizes at the last minute that, like, he won't actually get his wife back. The darkness just wants to get more powerful. And it's not going to uphold its end of the bargain. So he writes his own escape into the story, which is where the game proper begins.
Oh.
Yeah. is your escape from it. So you start to see yourself on TV talking about everything that's going on, and you're like, I never did that. None of that's real, but it is real. It's just you later, only also before, writing the story that you're now participating in, because now you're playing your own story.
That's fucked up.
It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So anyway, the reason I bring it up is not just because it's awesome, but also, and not just because I just played it, but also. The reason I bring it up is because I love the idea, and I know that this is so much of where it came from, and it wasn't just like a bunch of people really loving Twin Peaks to fucking death and being like, how can we make that into a video game? But the idea of the author as a creator, the one who for a living tells true lies and makes real what can't possibly be real. It's basically like you having the authorship over your own life, right? Mm-hmm. So if I found a book that was my story up to this point, would I turn the page? I probably would. Not just because I want to know what happens next. I think I would also probably have the knowledge that that's just not written yet. Turning the page, I'd find what's blank. I'd have to start writing it myself, right?
Yeah.
So damn deep.
Some amount of what comes next is up to me.
Yeah. And that's why I wouldn't care. Like, that's why I would feel so confident saying I would burn it. Because part of it has to be up to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, none of this can be just pre-written. I mean, none of it, some of it can be. I don't want to say none of it. I was pretty much destined to meet you. I get that now. But what I do with us and with our family and with this experience after that is up to me. Like, I can mess it all up.
That's true.
I don't think that part's predetermined.
I struggle with that a bit. I mean, not like, because I don't think that anything's like, I don't believe in predetermination. Well, in like the way that Calvinists do, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I do have, like, just on a purely scientific level, it's almost a sure thing that free will doesn't actually exist.
Oh, don't go deeper into that, because I want to do some research and I want that to be an episode.
Smash cut. Hey everyone, it's Christopher. Doing one of the old things where I do the talking head thing at the end. This wasn't planned. Actually, this wasn't the end of the episode. Originally, we kept talking for like a while. It did end up being enough stuff for another episode, and then we did more recording that ended up being enough to finish that episode. So we'll do that next week. So tune in next time, I guess. In the meantime, feel free to like and subscribe like you usually do. And also, I've been threatening this for weeks. Well, the Patreon, it's a thing. Last time we talked about it, I think we talked about how it would be a thing by the time I did the video, and it totally was. So I guess as of now, you already have known about it for over a week. But anyway, Patreon's a thing. We're on. If you wanted to give us money on Patreon, we would love you for it. Because, well, getting money is a good thing, and working less hours than our normal boring jobs is an even better thing. And so link in the description. Anyway, so we love you very much. As always, we hope you have an amazing night.